Why did you stop? Tae asked, his voice filled with curiosity. At those words, the dam broke. Jungkook's chest tightened as all the hurt, humiliation, and longing he had bottled up came rushing to the surface. Because you didn't want them. Jungkook choked out, his voice trembling. His vision blurred with tears he could no longer hold back. You called them weird. Uncomfortable. I didn't want to bother you anymore. Tae's grip on his wrist softened, his expression shifting to one of regret. Jungkook's heart twisted painfully. He didn't want to be here, standing in front of the person who had unknowingly shattered his heart. Yet a small, foolish part of him longed for Tae to say something, anything, that might make the pain worth it. And then, Tae spoke, his voice laced with a quiet sincerity that made Jungkook's breath itch. I was fooled. I didn't realize how much they meant to me until they were gone. I didn't realize how much you meant to me. Tae admitted, his tone filled with regret. Jungkook's head snapped up, his tear-filled eyes meeting Tae's for the first time. What? Jungkook whispered, his voice barely audible. Tae took a deep breath, his eyes never leaving Jungkook's. Yes, I was wrong. I didn't see it before, but I do now. You put so much care into those gifts, and I took them for granted. Tae stepped closer, his presence steady and unwavering. I miss them. I miss you. Jungkook's chest heaved as conflicting emotions swirled within him, hope, fear, disbelief. You don't mean that. I do. And I'll spend however long it takes to prove it to you. Tae said firmly, his voice leaving no room for doubt. For the first time in weeks, a flicker of warmth bloomed in Jungkook's chest. Though his walls were still up, Tae's words were a start, one he hadn't dared to hope for. Tae let go of his wrist but reached out to gently tuck a strand of hair behind Jungkook's ear. Let me make it up to you. Let's start over again. And maybe this time, I'll be the one bringing you breakfast. Tae said, his voice soft, full of caring sincerity and hope. And in that moment, as Tae's deep eyes bore into his, Jungkook felt the faintest stirrings of a possibility, that maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end of their story. Jungkook's lips twitched into a small, hesitant smile. For the first time in a long while, the walls he had built around himself began to crack. I don't know if that's necessary. You don't have to feel like you owe me anything. Jungkook mumbled, a shy smile pulling at his lips. Tae chuckled softly, leaning forward. Maybe I want to. Maybe I've realized I'm the one who missed out all this time. Tae's voice held a warmth that sent an unexpected flutter through Jungkook's chest. The thought of Tae caring for him, actually paying attention to him, was something Jungkook never imagined. He had spent so long being invisible, content in his quiet admiration, but now that Tae's focus was entirely on him, it felt overwhelming in the best way possible. The rooftop of the college was a quiet haven, bathed in the soft glow of the setting sun. Tae led Jungkook there without a word, his grip firm but not forceful, as if he was afraid Jungkook might slip away if he let go. Jungkook followed hesitantly, his heart thundering in his chest. When they reached the top, the cool breeze brushed against Jungkook's flushed cheeks, yet his eyes remained fixed on the ground, too overwhelmed to look at Tae. For a moment, there was silence, only the rustling of the wind and the distant sounds of the campus below. Then, all at once, Tae moved. He wrapped his arms around Jungkook and pulled him into a tight embrace. Jungkook's breath hitched as his face was pressed against Tae's shoulder, the warmth and scent of him overwhelming his senses. Tae's voice broke the silence, soft and trembling with emotion. Never distance yourself from me again. I can't take it. I feel empty without your notes, without your breakfasts, without you. Tae murmured, his breath brushing against Jungkook's neck. Jungkook's eyes widened, his heart pounding as Tae's words sank in. I missed everything about you. It took me time, but I've realized it now. I've fallen for you. I love you. Tae continued, his voice laced with regret and longing. Jungkook's knees felt weak, and he instinctively clutched Tae's shirt, his emotions swirling in a chaotic mix of disbelief, hope, and vulnerability. You love me? Jungkook whispered, his voice barely audible. Tae pulled back slightly, just enough to look into Jungkook's wide, tear-filled eyes. He cupped Jungkook's cheeks gently, his thumbs brushing away the stray tears that had escaped. Yes, I love you. And now I can't stay without you. I'm sorry it took me so long to see it, but now that I do, I won't let you go. Tae repeated, his voice steady and sincere. Jungkook's lips quivered as he searched Tae's eyes, looking for any trace of insincerity. But all he saw was warmth and love that he had dreamed of but never dared to hope for. A sob escaped Jungkook's lips, and he lowered his gaze, his emotions too overwhelming to articulate. I don't know what to say. I've loved you for so long, but I never thought you'd feel the same. Jungkook admitted, his voice trembling. Tae's heart ached at the vulnerability in Jungkook's voice. He leaned in closer, resting his forehead against Jungkook's. Say you'll give me a chance. Say you'll let me love you the way you deserve. Tae whispered, his voice deep with emotions. Jungkook hesitated for a moment, his heart warring between fear and the overwhelming desire to believe Tae's words. Finally, he nodded, his tears spilling over again. I'll give you a chance. Jungkook said softly, his voice breaking with emotion. Tae smiled, a wave of relief washing over him. Without another word, he tilted Jungkook's chin up gently and closed the distance between them. Their lips met in a kiss that was both tender and intense, a culmination of all the unspoken emotions they had kept buried for so long. Tae's hand slid to the back of Jungkook's neck, pulling him closer, while Jungkook's fingers clung to Tae's shirt as if afraid he might disappear. The kiss deepened, and time seemed to stand still. It was as if the world had faded away, leaving only the two of them wrapped in each other's warmth. When they finally pulled apart, both were breathless, their foreheads still touching as they gazed into each other's eyes. I'll never let you feel invisible again, Tae promised, his voice firm yet filled with affection. Jungkook smiled through his tears, a warmth blooming in his chest that he hadn't felt in a long time. And I'll never stop loving you, Jungkook whispered softly. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and pink, the two of them stood there on the rooftop, holding each other close. It was the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with love, understanding, and the promise of a future together. The end. Thanks for watching, puffballs. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and share. Also subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to never miss any updates.